50-cent juice. And that's okay if you're the 50-cent juice.
What I mean? I don't. What is
you
that?
know what I mean?
I don't even know.
Hold on, let her finish.
Please define.
But when you the 50-cent juice, you can't mix 50-cent juice with $100,000 liquors. It tastes weird. It doesn't mix, you know? So when you buy 50-cent juice, that's because you usually only got $10 liquor money. But here your 50-cent ass come looking for $10,000 shit.
Hey, beautiful. It's your girl, Rebecca Zahara.
And it's your girl, Aime.
And we are back with another episode of Pale Bél. Today we have...
Who we have today? Come on.
Girl,
I cannot take this seriously. Today we have a beautiful guest, my good sis, Frankie. So I would love for you to introduce yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Hi guys. Hi people of the nations of the universe. My name is Frankie, and I don't like introductions because I never know what the hell to say. However, I am so happy that I'm on this podcast because my good sis just always has something good to say, and I'm just so happy that I get to meet her sister and we get to talk about the things, you know, the things. So yeah, hi everybody, and it's me.
Hey girl, hey.
I'm glad you guys have gotten a chance to get acquainted. We be cutting it up, and so we're gonna have a good time. Mm-hmm. So today we'll be talking about I don't even want to, I was about to say an accolade, and I don't even want to do that. We're not doing that. I was going to say the infamous. So we are talking about the infamous Kevin Samuels. Mm-hmm. Obviously, if you aren't familiar, you'll get familiar through this episode. However, he has been viral for the past several months. He is a self-proclaimed high-valued man, a love coach, I guess, a relationship coach is what he self-proclaimed, a relationship coach. I don't know if
consultant.
I don't know if he's
consultant. I think he's an image consultant.
He's an image consultant.
Right. Consultant. Dapper Dan, you know what I'm saying? He dressed down to the nines. And he's been viral for the past few months because of his delivery, for the most part, and how for his delivery, his content, and how he speaks to women on his platform. Mm-hmm. So, I
do want to state.
Go ahead.
Just to be accurate, it's not just women. It does seem as if the women's segments get more views, but he does speak to men pretty harshly as well.
I know he started his.
So I do just want to. He still continues to speak to men as well. He does like. The reason why I even know this is because I have a boyfriend who is intrigued.
Okay.
No, I want. He's intrigued by because it's something that I'd be looking at like. I'll be side-eyeing.
For sure.
But he's definitely intrigued by some of the things that Kevin Samuel has to say. Mm-hmm. And Kevin Samuels has nights that are nights for men. Mm-hmm. And then, yes, he definitely has the segments for the women, which he hit off. But in a week, I believe he does a video every night for the Monday through Friday. There are about 2 nights that are dedicated to men.
Wow.
So I do just want to say that.
On Instagram. He has a whole TV show on Instagram.
Yeah. He has a whole YouTube situation.
Really?
He's part of this. So a little back on, I guess, the community that he's a part of. Because it is definitely a community. I'm like a huge, I watch a lot of YouTube TV. Mm-hmm. And on YouTube, they have a community of Black pillars.
Oh, wait. I don't even want to get into that yet because we're gonna get there.
Yeah. Okay.
We're gonna get there because you'll see. So anyway, this Kevin Samuels topic has obviously been a topic of discussion on social media and all that. However, my sister sent me this post by an Instagrammer, Candyss.love, and she wrote this entire caption in regards to Kevin Samuels. So I'll share what that caption is, and I guess we can kind of start the conversation off there. And then Esther, you know, based on what she was sharing, she shall. Okay. So the caption says, "The women who gravitate toward Kevin Samuels look for ways to emotionally abuse themselves. As Kevin Samuels continues to spark conversation, I personally give no attention to the things he says, but more to the women that choose to listen to him. My first instinctive question was, why would a woman want to listen to a man that speaks to them in that way? With such harshness, disregard, entitlement, and disrespect, if you'll allow Kevin Samuels to speak to you this way, you'll allow any man to speak to you this way, because you probably speak to yourself in that way, silently. I personally believe women who choose to entertain, listen to, call in, and seek harsh advice from Kevin Samuels seek out ways to emotionally abuse themselves. Their acceptance of Kevin Samuels' behaviors and speech is a clear reflection of how they speak to themselves internally and how they belittle themselves, don't set healthy boundaries, and become submissive to their own negative self-talk. This is what happens when trauma, emotional voids, and wounds are not properly nurtured and healed. These open wounds lead to a lack of self-knowledge, worth, and a lack of self-awareness. If you don't know who you are, then you leave the door open for other people to tell you. Like my mama said, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. This is why it's imperative to heal your wounds, because when you are in pain, you'll take medicine from anyone that makes you feel better. And when you're hurting with voids, even verbal abuse will sound like love and guidance. When you lose touch with the essence of your being, you'll disempower your own soul and start asking outside sources for advice and validation. Kevin Samuels is just a reflection of how many women have lost touch with their divine feminine power and their soul, and put their power in unequipped men to guide them back home to themselves. You take your power back by honoring yourself and setting boundaries on how you deserve to be treated and spoken to, and by also nurturing how you treat and speak to yourself. Because if you disrespect you, mistreat you, you'll attract and let a man that doesn't even deserve you to do the same. And that's on motherfucking period.
And I just want to state, amen, girl, because that was a word. We're just going to talk. We just go, the caption in itself was well put together. And just very confronting.
I was saying it started out a bit harsh for sure, but at the end it felt like medicine. It was like this is the advice that I think you should take.
I mean, when you take Robitussin, it don't really taste good, but it do that. It go down icy smooth, though.
And that was on point.
That's a
honestly. Yeah, I didn't read the caption, but that was very well read right now there. I felt it was a bit harsh just because I feel like I feel like some women should have this space to just be curious and hear what this guy has to say. But I do understand where she was coming from by saying that people are constantly like tuned into it. The people are constantly like the women that are actually tuning into this guy to hear, like seeking guidance from him. It definitely fell in their plate because it's like, why are you like this man is degrading you? Honestly, he says his teaching.
I think that's the women that she's speaking to. I think that's the women that she's speaking to, not the women that are just like, all right, what this nigga got to say, or doing their research, whatever. I think she's talking to the women that choose to go live with him, the women that choose to like take his, like get embarrassed. Like, first of all, this is embarrassing.
I think some of them do try and prove him wrong though, because I've seen one where there was like a Bahamian girl, and she's like, "What do you mean? Like, I went to school, I did this, like." But there's no winning with this guy. Like, he comes and he wants to like dominate you because this is my platform. You came here.
Let me say this, because he has a whole because I'm exposed to a lot of Kevin Samuels. I want to say that because my boyfriend is intrigued by him. I'm exposed to a lot of Kevin Samuels because I've proposed the idea of marriage into my relationship.
Right.
There's a lot of different kind of things that my boyfriend is listening to. Because when we originally started, we was cool. Now she's trying to put the pressure on a brother. You know what I mean? So now I need to hear what other brothers out there saying, because a lot of men don't have fathers that are there.
True.
You know? I think though that a lot of us don't necessarily know, like, it's like a fine line between pain and pleasure. You know what I mean? Like, you can kind of hurt somebody till it kind of start to feel a little good. And it's just kind of like a state of like masochism, like sadomasochism. I'm saying the word wrong. Masochism. Masochist. Because you're a masochist. Yeah, get it together. Which essentially just means that like pleasure is pain. You know what I mean? And a lot of people are raised in, a lot of Black people are raised in toxicity and dysfunction. And sometimes because you weren't afforded the opportunity to see a healthy environment or healthy conversations, healthy ways of solving issues or having people speak to you, you interpret someone hurting you as them helping you, and maybe he says some things that might be true, maybe, but a lot of times when I hear him, nobody gets to finish their story. So I'm not sure how true you can be if all I said was I had kids.
I do want to say though, I definitely feel like, yes, there are definitely hurt women going to this, but I feel like some women are also just very tired of the dating scene, and they're like, I feel like I've done this and this and this and this and this. Maybe this man has has the answers. You know what I mean? Like, they're just like so fed up with what they're going through with partners and ex-partners and people right now. They're like, okay, he has a lot of traction with other guys. Maybe, maybe what he's saying is true. And what I'm saying is, like, Kevin Samuels makes good points. Like, some of his points I could see, okay, fair enough. Okay, yeah, cool. Yeah, that's a good point. But the way he does his lives, and it's like, the way he does his lives is that he just wants to be on top. And that's not a conversation. That's not a level conversation. He wants to have like this God type of energy on these lives. And I'm like, I understand that it's your platform.
Giving me big daddy energy.
But why can't you be on a level playing field when you're having a conversation, Like,
because that doesn't make for good content. Because that's where the content part comes in. Because at the end of the day, he is doing this for money. You'll hear within his conversations or within a live that he does, he'll go, y'all not liking this. Y'all not liking this. I need 500, whatever likes.
What?
Or I'm gonna shut this down.
That must be the recent ones.
Oh wait,
that must be the recent ones.
I want to circle the block. I
be listening. I be just walking past too. It's so funny because I be walking past the TV in the living room like. Because it becomes tumultuous in this home when I hear certain things. And I'm like, hold on, bro.
Circle the block. Let me circle the block real quick. To Frankie's point, when she said that a lot of women are tired, there's something else I want to say too, but I got that written down if I lose this. To Frankie's point, when she said that a lot of women are tired and he's getting traction, let me hear what he has to say. I always find it so interesting that for most of our lives, most of the parts of our lives, if something is wrong with our vehicle, we go to a certified mechanic. If something is wrong with our motherfucking teeth, we go to the dentist. Okay? We go to people that are experts in these things. And so I find it so interesting that when it comes to our dating lives, we go to people who are bearing no fruit.
He's an image consultant.
Yeah.
Like,
most people don't even know what is that? What does he do?
And they go.
What exactly is this man?
Where was he certified? Like,
from things that I've seen, you know, I will not claim that this is true because I do not know this man.
mm-hmm.
Is this man married?
No, he's been divorced, I believe, twice.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So is this advice for the bachelor? Who is this advice for?
Okay. So now let me go into thinking. Okay. So on YouTube, where he makes a nice, I believe he's on Patreon as well. I'm not 100% sure. Either way, if he is on Patreon, that's the bucks. So where his platforms, he is part of a community of Black pillars. There's the Black pill and there's the pink pill. So the Black pill is a community of men who speak about essentially not being heard, women not being held accountable, marrying women who don't bring things to the table,
what dimension is this? I've never heard of this Black pill thing.
Yeah, so that's what I'm gonna need y'all to just jump on YouTube very fast. I wish YouTube would come ahead and sponsor this real fast because I just plugged them in. But there's a group of, if you put in Black pill into YouTube, you'll find, and they have subscribers. It's not even just like maybe we have 25 subscribers, but they have a huge following. There's about 10 of them that have a great following. There's also pink pillars. Now, pink pillars is women in the reverse. It's exactly what men are doing, talking about, women on that end. And there's the pink pillars, which are women who are doing what women deserve, what women should not stand for, what women should, the masses of what we have to say. Or some of us got to say, because I don't want to claim all of that, because I done heard some stuff on both ends where I was like, no, I don't claim that. I do not claim that knowledge, ma'am. But
yeah.
But there is a community of people who this is what they do. They go on YouTube and because especially in our, I guess, current times, marriage is down. Especially in the Black community, marriage is down. Reproduction isn't, but marriage is down. People are still having babies. I
said to my friend earlier, I'm tired of going to baby showers. I'm trying to go to a wedding.
Wow.
Marriage is down. Less men are proposing, and actually more women are starting to really propose to men, because the goal for women is really to get married, and men are choosing to get married at a later age. And men are also choosing because they're hearing that okay, so when you hear a man who makes maybe 6 figures, right? Say essentially, because I make 6 figures, I don't have to really stay here. I don't have to stay here because I've earned my way out of accountability. Well, I like that.
No, this is so foreign. This is so foreign to me. I have never
listened. Okay, baby. Real quick, before you motherfucking continue, that was a word, okay? And I want to say that when I hear Kevin Samuels describe this high value man, that is what I hear him describing. That is what I hear him describing. He says that when you're dating a man that makes a certain amount of money, that looks a certain way, you know that he's going to attract
even if he don't look a certain way, because a man don't gotta be fine to be able to be out here in these streets if he got the wallet. That's another thing. Is that you should be fit friendly. What is it? Fit friendly and something. It's 3X.
Thing. When I told you that was a thing, I didn't know this was a
thing. Yes. You need to be. But him as a man, if he's earned his way, then he's earned his way out of accountability. On some well, I like that.
Giving what's supposed to be given.
I am flabbergasted.
And so essentially he does say that you're not, that, if if you're a high value man, you are supposed to have certain morals. So if you do decide to do what you do, you're not supposed to embarrass the woman, essentially in public or whatever. But what I always find this is what I always find confusing, is that men act as if the sexual nature that they claim to have not much control over is not something that women have themselves. If we're even looking at statistics, it says that women are hornier than men.
You have a high
because we only got a certain amount of time to be horny.
Never thought about it that way. Never thought about it that way.
We only got a certain, because our biological clock is literally like, hey, there are things, these eggs every time. There are things you need to do even if you're not able to reproduce, your body is literally going through this process of hey, and 9 times out of 10, your sexual drive is going to be more than your counterparts, your male counterparts. So they act as if they're not able to control their sexual needs, when I always think to myself, bruh, you don't think it's hard for me not to, that fine ass man over there who was like really doing real nice things for me and stuff, and like my whole coochie was like,
and especially when us as women are constantly being pursued. I got options, baby. like
regularly. I have more options than you have, and I'm not even bragging, but I got more options than you got.
And while I understand that obviously we are socialized and taught different things growing up, why is it not okay? Why are you not taking accountability for not having discipline?
Exactly. Because discipline is different. That's not nature.
Yeah. Have we ever thought of a world where women did not care what other people thought about them? You know how wild that would be?
That would be, so what's messed up about that is that a world like that is not necessarily possible in our dimension, because, whatever, right? Because it's a patriarchal world that we live in. And the opinion is always going to matter, because we don't make rules. We're not leaders. Like we have role models, and but we're not world leaders. We're not president. The reason why Hillary Clinton couldn't be president was because a lot of men were not ready to have a female president. A lot of men are not ready to follow a female.
But I don't like that though. How can you say? Well, how are they not ready? Like who made them? Like
I know.
What gave them this? Like they are not ready. Like who the hell is they? Like
I know.
What?
I so get it.
That pisses me off, because like, who the fuck?
Because they listen to their mama, and that's who raised them, and that's who told them what to do before they left home. Listening to parents, listen to their mama, listening to a whole female tell them how to do and how to go about, and they still grow up to like innately be like, she can't tell me what to do because she's she, but she can't do what I do as good as I do it because she's she and I'm man. And I'm not 100% sure right now because I don't have balls, so I don't hold you. You know what I mean? Because when I set out into a situation, and I know that a lot of times I work in a male dominated world, and I find myself having to maneuver through by being brash. That's why you can call me a bitch. Wow. And it's not, I'm not a bitch. Like I'm really not. I'm actually really gentle, and I really don't have time. But I find that in a situation where I'm the only female standing, that I got to like my shoulders square up a little bit more than they would in another situation, because you didn't really think that when I came up in here I could do what you was doing. And then it pissed you off when you found out that I was doing what you was doing better. And what pissed me off was that I found out you got paid more than me.
I have several problems with just that, because I feel like, and I think my therapist actually told me that, Black women are fighting for a lot in this society, because places where a guy or maybe even a white woman would be called assertive. Oh, she's just being assertive. A black woman is called a bitch. Why? We're doing the same thing. We're saying the same words. We're coming up the same, like we're saying the same manner. Why is she assertive? Why is he assertive? And I am a bitch. Like, why is there a fight down on black women? That pisses me off.
It's the same reason why Hispanic women and other women are called spicy and we're fucking called ghetto.
It's really the melanin. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was so funny. I was just having a conversation about this. It's why black men are perceived as like more invincible than a white man, because melanin makes you intimidating. And the darker it's especially because it's been taught when you seen the blacker, man, that's so messed up. The blacker man, you know, he was more athletic. 9 times out of 10, he's more athletic. Even if his ass don't want to run up and down this motherfucking field, he can. He can. You know what I mean? And it's pretty entertaining to see, because up until, remember, we were in zoos. Mm-hmm. They had us in zoos. They were so infatuated with us, how we did everything, why we looked like that. They raped us. You know, they had to see exactly how this mix of black and them happened. You know, not even acknowledging that a black woman created all races. Not acknowledging that I could be your mama. I can make a white child.
This just makes me sad, man.
It really does make you sad when you think about it.
Because you can't think of solutions. You can't think of easy solutions for these types of things. But it's just crazy how everything is connected. Like this Kevin Samuels thing, when he's talking, like what the women that he's talking to and the women that he's approaching and talking down to, the women that are looking for refuge in his words are black women, because we are just so freaking fed up. And the saddest thing is, everybody's so fascinated about us, and everybody believes that we're so intimidating because we have this thing that is just like curiosity. What the hell do we do? What do we have?
But yet simultaneously disrespected.
And we also have the most sympathy. We let it happen to us. We always let it slide. We always have the empathy. Okay, I can understand.
We're searching.
But this is why I also,
as a people, we're searching, you know?
This is why I also believe, though, that white people are so terrified, because they know what they have done to us, and they are waiting for us to snap, because we should have already. So and it's not like there hasn't been several revolutions, you feel me? But what I mean in regards to masses, like, I feel like that really terrifies them, because, I mean, let the ancestors take over for a day.
Because they would be afraid. And then what's so funny is that we're not even that kind of people. What's so messed up is that black people are so freaking nice, and it's so fucking annoying. Like melanated people are so fucking nice. It's so fucking nice, because when you should chop a nigga head off, excuse me, but when you should, we don't. We'd be like, it's okay. I know you did me wrong, but we can live together in harmony. We be just so ready to live with niggas.
That's the problem.
Shake my head.
That's the problem now.
So what happens is, I think, is that they're afraid that karma would come back around. Is that what they tried to do to us is what we would do to them? So I just want to state. So I don't know if you remember this situation. It's still currently happening, but it's not on the media the way that it was when it first started. But South Africa. Remember, if we remember, there was a time when the colonizers came through. They took everything, set it all up so that nobody else of color could have anything that they already had. Set up shop at everybody's house and was like, now y'all slaves and maids and y'all can't speak y'all native tongue, and the series of stuff that y'all can't do, right? So a few years ago, the black legislative whatever, this government decided or got pulled, and were able to make laws that gave the black native folks their land, back their stuff, you know? And the white South Africans were crying, baby. They were essentially like, how could they come here and take what's ours?
Those
Can you
words.
imagine?
How can they come here and take what's ours? How could they be so cruel to us?
Those words.
How could they? How could they? How could they? No, let's all remember that a lot of Black South Africans died. Native Black South Africans died by the hand. It was modern day slavery, bro. Still a lot of like, what this is going on, you know? And they didn't, and let's just also speak on the fact that the legislative laws or whatever that they made didn't give all Black people back their stuff. It just gave people like who were in the farms and stuff like that back their stuff, right? Let's talk about when we was looking at these farms, wasn't nothing growing and stuff. Y'all was standing here looking like unwashed people who was acting like you was nurturing this land when you was not nurturing this land, and had these Black folk nurturing these same lands that you took from them. You took my home and then told me I had to work in your fields for free to be able to live in the shack back there that I created as the equipment shed.
So audacity for me, bro.
And this is things that are happening like today. And all it is the melanated skin that's scaring. Yeah. It's intimidating. It'd be like, dang, and then you know you did wrong, that guilty conscience. Mm-hmm. You know, you ever had a guilty conscience and about something, and then you start manifesting all types of sicknesses and diseases and stuff and that, and then all of a sudden you don't want to told the person who you did it to, hey, I actually did this, and all of a sudden you no longer have anxiety and stuff, and because you're manifesting all these things because you know you did wrong. Mm-hmm. You walking around with this baggage on your back because you know you fucked up. You know you did wrong.
But you know what though? Just to bring it back to the Kevin Samuel thing.
Yes.
I would love to hear the perspective of just a white person giving this man the floor, or if a white woman was to ever come on his show, because we have allies, right? If we're gonna bring that into the conversation, we have allies. If a white woman was to ever if a white woman was to come on this guy's live, I would love to see how he would talk to her. And that would definitely tell of his character. Because you can't tell me every Black woman that comes on your platform, you don't give them the space to talk. You remind them how much they are in your space and how much you have brought them there. You know, that ego type of approach every single time. And that's the only reason I don't gravitate to his thing, because I don't feel like it's empowering. Like, you tell me you're giving me advice, but you're not empowering me. You're belittling me to try and change. How the hell am I going to change? Like, at the end of the day, I'm leaving your conversation feeling like I'm shit. Like, how the hell am I going to do better from that? How are you asking me to do better from that?
I think so. That right there is like, because you said that, and I have like the perfect response for that. It's like, you ever had like the gay best friend? You got a gay best friend? Yeah. You know, like someone. Oh, I've had a couple of gay best friends, guy best friends, right? Mm-hmm. Who would say things to me that that my boyfriend could not say to me that way. But they gave me this masculine kind of energy with feminism wrapped all up in it. Does you know what I mean? Yep. So when they were giving it, it was harsh. I won't hold you and say it wasn't harsh, but they were giving me like big brother, bad boy.
Bad bitch. Daddy. I'm finna fight with my brother if he talks to me like that. I'm sorry. I will fight with my brother. You're not gonna tell me bullshit. Honestly, I love the truth. I love being blunt, but I love respect. Okay, that's the biggest thing. You're not gonna disrespect me because you're not looking for me.
That's something that you had to learn, though. But that's something that you had to learn. You had to learn how to be able to how to treat yourself. Your inner dialogue with yourself had to change so that when you got approached by other people or spoke to other people and they may not stepped out of their bounds, you were able to correct them because you knew for yourself that that's not how you that that wasn't on your level.
I'm not gonna allow anybody to talk to me like that.
A lot of people don't. A lot of people. So if you ask someone to self-reflect, they will tell you. If you ask someone about therapy, bro, a lot of people are like, therapy? I don't need therapy. I don't need to talk to nobody. I'm not crazy. And I'd be like, actually,
you don't have to
have someone just listen to me, you know, and not them. Don't talk about yourself. Let's talk about me. What I got going on. You know what I mean? It's such a blessing. But that's something that I had to learn, because there was a time when I was like, I don't need therapy. Oh my God, what you got doing? Right? Yeah. It's really hard to look into yourself. No matter how much you want to say, I know myself, I work on myself.
Because once you see yourself, it's either you're going to take accountability for everything that you've been done. And
no, not even that. Before we even get to that.
No, but
it's either you like what you see or you don't.
But I'm saying
sometimes just not liking what you see is like,
there's no one seeing it. So once you see it, it's either you have to take accountability or you keep living in the shit.
Well, a lot of people live in the shit, and they don't even realize.
But a lot of people don't take the time to see it.
But that's because a lot of people don't know what taking accountability looks like. A lot of people don't know what healthy behaviors look like, and they rather go to Kevin Samuels, who was giving unsolicited, mean advice.
He's giving his opinions for free. He's definitely making coin. He's making
coins on the
thing.
Making
coin because his name's out there.
Well, he's making coins on the thing, right? And he's making coins on his. I believe he has like a Facebook group you have to pay for. But when you just call up to the phone, this is free, unsolicited. Yes, somebody else is paying him, not you. So he's just about to, and content. He needs to make content so he can continue to make those coins. So while you're getting this information for free for you, right? Mm-hmm. Because you didn't have to pay YouTube to watch it or whatever. He's also being dramatic and on the verge of malicious because he also has to make his coins. And he didn't start really, really talking to women like this until he blew up. That most viral video of him, and it's so funny because I watched that video. I wanted to see, because I kept seeing these little clips or whatever. I actually felt really bad for her. But I also felt like this is something that needs to be said. Kevin Samuels don't be lying. It's what's messed up is that a lot of men do feel unheard. Mm-hmm. A lot of men do feel like they got to walk on eggshells and they cannot be authentic with the women in their lives. That's not a lie. You know, maybe his delivery is hella jacked up, but it is a conversation to be had here.
Yeah.
I completely agree with that.
I agree.
And a lot of women do not have healthy older men in their lives who have shown them you know what I mean? Maybe you have one. Maybe you have one man and everybody else is kind of not really, the best role model. I'm not 100% sure. I know that growing up for me, I can remember of one man in my whole entire, outside of my brother, who's older than me, but was not my role model. So I can think of one older man who had his shit together, and I was like, okay, you know what I mean? And he taught me not to allow nobody to come for me. And if what you're doing does not serve me, I need to go. But if I hadn't have had that in my life, who's to say that I would know when I ran into some of these fuckboys out here that this was not behavior this was not normal. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I know people who don't know what normalcy is and accept what Kevin Samuels is giving. And it's verbal abuse, right?
There's a couple of things I want to touch on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say this and then I want to circle to your point. Frankie said something earlier. It escapes me what she said verbatim now, but she was talking about the women he's talking to, and I want to talk about the fact that he's already setting an unrealistic expectation in regards to the standard of women that these women should be when it comes to beauty standards, because his examples of like his top examples, for example, Beyonce is like the woman, right?
And he said Beyonce is an 8, baby.
And
he said
Kelly
Beyonce
Rowland
is an
like
8.
a 7 or some shit like that.
No. He gave Kelly a 9. I'm not gonna hold you. He gave Kelly higher than Beyonce.
Oh, okay. I didn't recall it being that high. But anyway,
he called
let me finish.
Beyonce an adjustable 8.
Let me finish. So anyway, these are unrealistic expectations, because these women, like a lot of the women that he's describing, aren't even natural women. Like they've had alterations. And so you are telling women that the beauty standards is something that are unattainable naturally. Anyway, like
to talk about beauty standards, like you just tell people or something.
Let's just talk about this feminine energy he's serving.
Hold on.
Trying to give masculine energy. Like, miss me. Like, you're a wolf in sheep's clothing. So let's not do that.
That knocked me out. Okay, let's go back.
The second thing I want to say is, I do believe that he is the manifestation of men not being able to emotionally express themselves, like Esther said.
Yes.
I feel like men, first of all, already have an issue with figuring out how to articulate their emotions to begin with.
Their own.
And so now there is this man, although he is brutal, he is saying so much of the shit they have been waiting to fucking say, because they have not had the spaces to share that fucking information. And so now this nigga saying it, we've been waiting to say this shit for years. I don't give a fuck.
I've been waiting to tell you wasn't shit, girl.
You know what I'm saying? I've been waiting to call y'all out, like, especially because women are often always talking about accountability, and so. But when it comes to women taking accountability, a lot of us be dipping and dodging. Like that energy, we don't be keeping that same energy when it comes to us being held accountable for our actions. And a lot of the shit that we be doing, a lot of the shit that I be seeing us doing, be wrong as hell. It'd be just as wrong as the shit that we be calling out in our men. And so at the same time, he do be saying some super valid shit. That does need to be heard. However, who the fuck are you talking to?
I don't need to be abused. I don't need to be abused. I don't never ever need to be abused and degraded.
Fix your mouth when you talk to me.
When you talk to me, you do not address me that way. Even people, he feels as if like he said, you get a dog and die. Or something like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you get a dog before marriage or before you meet a man or whatever, then you just essentially are dying with this man. Or if you go to school, right, then you'll just die with your PhD. He actually has a meme thing that goes, I'm a PhD. Whenever a woman calls up there and says she's educated.
You know, so this man, all his videos surfaced probably like a couple months ago. Maybe like 8 months, close to a year ago. That's when my best friend sent it to me. My male best friend sent it to me. And he was like, you know, what do you think about it? Like, he sent it to me, said, what do you think about it? I was like, I listened to it, genuinely listened to it. And I felt like he was making some good points. However, I did not like the way he was talking to the girl. I'm like, who this man think he is? And why this girl letting this man talk to, you know? So I told him how I felt. But he's like, yeah, I definitely agree with you, but these are things that some women need to hear, right? And honestly, I'm even surprised this man is still popular, because I don't get why he's still getting this juice from the
because
public.
He's still speaking jewels. He's speaking straight up facts. And
I didn't even know a lot of his content, like the fits, whatever, the free. I never even knew that existed. Like, who the hell is
Stockholm Syndrome? Like, on some real, right? A lot of people have Stockholm Syndrome. A lot of people, the person that hurts them, they be like, you know what? I think they actually love me though and meant good for me, so let me come back. And it hurts every single time, but that becomes a disease, and a lot of our people have mental issues,
and a lot of that stems from
big or small, and don't we don't ever be trying to work on ourselves, a lot of us, you know what I mean? And then he's serving this feminine masculine energy.
He's not serving anything. He's serving opinions that men are afraid to say. Like
he makes a setting. Like everything that he does, if you like, it's really strategic. It's really strategic. It's the lighting, it's the music playing, it's the way that he is
it's the
literally
outfit for me.
it's
Like,
the outfit. It's so he even has so it's so funny. It's so funny because he be so valid sometimes, but then he says it, and it be like, well, would you tell your mama that like that? Well, would you tell your daughter that like that? Like, why did you have to punch me in my chest to tell me something? You know what I mean? I heard this woman say, she called up there and she was just giving her reaction to after she called up there and spoke with him, right? And she was like, how when it was all happening, she was just in shock because when she presented to him what she was presenting to him, she just knew that it wasn't like something for him to go on her for, right?
I feel like he's manipulative too as well, because he knows what he's asking, how he's asking it. Like he gets you to say what he already, like he knows what he wants you to say, and he gets you to say it so that he can embarrass you.
He's gonna back you into
like,
that.
Now you're in shock.
I'm like, this man is good.
Now you're in shock. You don't know how to respond because you can't keep up because now he done threw you for a loop. Right?
It's what police officers do in interrogation. That's the method he's using because he knows what he wants you to say.
Now after this, you over here thinking to yourself, you off the phone, right? You like, damn, I could have said this, I could have said this, I could have said this, I could have said, but your brain was all jumbled at the time.
I think if I ever went on that damn call, I'll just be silent.
He hit you with the how many kids you got? And it's like, because it's as if to say, and it's so messed up because men can have like a cajillion children at this point. Like, and that's like cool. But like, I have one baby and you're like used up, washed up, and she 35. He calls that the dead zone. You get 35.
What?
Yeah, you get 35 and you are unmarried with kids, children. And that is the dead zone. Yeah, he literally has, if at 30 years old you're creeping into the dead zone, I'll be listening to this because I just turned 30.
But mind you, all I'm thinking is 30 is not old.
Bruh, I just turned 30 and I literally just started thinking about marriage. Like for real. Like I literally just started really considering myself being married. And you're telling me that essentially.
And that is why it's abuse. Because who are you to tell people about their journey? About what they're supposed to hit and when they're supposed to hit it? That's why so many people, not only women, but men are in depression because they feel like, oh, they're supposed to achieve this.
Yeah, they feel like they have to achieve.
That is why marriage is abuse.
Exactly.
Because you make people look at themselves as though they're lesser than. That's why it's abuse.
Men especially feel like in order for me to propose, all of this needs to be aligned. I need to make this kind of money. So that way, if I'm taking you on as a responsibility, I should be able to take care of you. And in this world, a lot of niggas is struggling to do that and not realizing that they are women that will also assist them and help them build. Although that there are also some women that want your ass to have your shit together already before you bring her in.
And that is okay. Both are equally okay.
But the women that are calling up there, a lot of them, okay. Now y'all can take this how y'all take it. Let me say it. But they got their standards jacked up. Because maybe all right. I'm about to say some stuff, y'all. Don't get upset. Don't get upset. But maybe you're the 50 Cent juice. 50 Cent. And that's okay if you're the 50 Cent juice.
What I mean? I don't. What is
you know what I mean?
I don't even know.
Hold on, let her finish.
Please define.
But when you the 50 Cent juice, you can't mix 50 Cent juice with $100,000 liquors. It tastes weird. It doesn't mix, you know? So when you buy 50 Cent juice, that's because you usually only got $10 liquor money. But here your 50 Cent ass come looking for $10,000 shit. And you never even did anything to earn, attract this $10,000 shit. You
Wait,
work
I'm
at
still like, you
McDonald's.
lost me at
Hold
50 cent
on,
juice. What the
because
fuck?
you work at
50 cent juice?
McDonald's.
Uh-huh.
You work at McDonald's, right?
Mm-hmm.
You drive a Honda. I don't know which one, but you drive a Honda.
What's wrong with a Honda?
Hey, hold on. You drive a Honda. And you eat regularly at Wendy's. You don't cook, whatever, right? But here you go, one of the men who drives a Range Rover, works in finance, I don't know, makes $600,000 or whatever, really worked his ass to get his ass somewhere. And you felt like your low achieving ass, excuse me, I said what I said, really irked that man? Because in all honesty, he should have standards and he should want someone near his level.
So wait, real quick, Frankie.
Mm-hmm. What's 50 cent juice?
I'm not even.
Some people
Hold on, real
and
quick.
They want Calypso. You can't beat Calypso if you 50 cent juice. You know, Calypso real good. Calypso,
a lot of
like $3.
Some of the clips that I have seen, especially some of the clips that have gone viral, have been women who, I wouldn't say that they're 50 cent juice. I would say that they need to work on their sense of self.
Agreed. I haven't done 50 cent juice.
I would say that they are insecure. Because if you're gonna let a man talk to you like that, there has to be something embedded. However, a lot of these women, I'm not hearing 50 cent juice. I'm hearing, I have achieved this. I make this amount of money. I have this many businesses. I'm out here.
And
I'm
he's
out
still
here
talking down to them.
And what his point is to that is saying men are not looking for a woman that is bringing to the table what they're bringing to the table.
So there's no satisfying.
Men aren't.
He's talking about
What he's saying is men aren't looking for the same thing that women are looking for in men, right? And I think when it comes to these conversations, it's really hard for women, especially women that are like ambitious, to hear these things. But the fact of the matter is, we are looking for, and we could say this individually. People look for different things in different partners. However, if we're generalizing it, men are looking for different characteristics in women than women are looking for in men. Women are typically looking for someone that can take care of them, someone that can provide for them, and not just monetarily, emotionally.
And they're more willing to compromise on different things, whereas guys are not.
Exactly. But men are usually someone who is nurturing, someone who could be a good mother, etc. Not a woman. Niggas usually don't care about, I don't want to say niggas. Men usually don't care about how much, not often do men care about how much money a woman is making in that regard. So
men look for perfection and women look for stability. Mm-hmm. And there was this guy I was listening to the other night on some podcast, and he said that when men look today, they look for 150%. Women are willing to split 80% by 5 like different things. So like men want you to be perfection personified all the way in everything that you do, right? And a woman will be like, you know what, 80% financial looks good, 80% sexual looks good, 80% emotional looks good, and all of that 80% added up.
And I think Black women who specifically want to date Black men are even, that percentage is even lower.
Certainly. Like, okay, guys, you'll give me 20 points to talk about. Okay, so let's stop by 50 cent juice. I'm gonna stop by the 50 cent juice stand. I'm gonna start there. Okay. So from all the talk that we've talked about the 50 cent juice, I have defined it for myself as those that are probably raised in like underprivileged probably setting, really struggling, maybe hustling, maybe called ghetto, etc., etc. No, those ones. Mm-hmm. These are the points that are usually driven home with his, like when he's delivering his thing and saying stuff like that. These are the ones that you can rationalize and say, okay, yeah, I understand where this man is coming from, because how can you have this little and like and want and demand, it's not aspire, want and
And
demand a
demand.
man of that caliber, right? And then when you finish, you also want to treat that man some type of way. I understand his points to that. However, I don't think he should be telling. They need to hear it. They need to hear the truth. However, I think he should just be addressing the men as to why the hell they're giving these types of women the chance to enter their life in the first place. Like, why are you? Yes, you can tell these women blunt as it is for sure. However, the men are the ones that are choosing them at the end of the day. They're also doing the choosing. That, yeah, I'm choosing to be with this girl because half the time the 50 Cent be looking good for that one night.
The
That
50
one
Cent
night they
do
be
be
looking.
looking good.
They do be looking. They are the ones that are camouflaging because they will grab these guys. They will grab these guys, make these guys feel like they are, top dollar,
You can
and
print
then they
out
catch.
you can print out an expensive label and throw it on that bottle. Stop playing.
Exactly, right? They dress up real
Yeah,
nice.
but when
They
you take
catch
that
them.
shot, it's gonna be nasty.
But that's where they catch them, though, because guys, that's where the 50 Cent will always catch them and hook them because they have been attracted by the physical, and then they get into most times bed with them, and then they get emotionally attached. Like some guys, for sure, they would not get emotionally attached. But some guys who really, because let's be honest, those that are really on the top high caliber there, they are kind of really emotionally like looking for somebody to satisfy.
Men in general are emotional. They're just not allowed to be
Yeah,
emotional. So,
right?
they can't really live in their truth. Because when we raise boys, and it's really messed up, but we tell them not to cry. We tell them it's not boyish to cry. We tell, you know what I mean? We be like, hold it down. Men are supposed to be strong. And we really do feed our men a bunch of shit, however you want to look at it, that make it really hard to even find an emotional place to be vulnerable in.
They're not allowed to explore themselves.
At all.
They're not allowed to explore themselves. And as much as we can say that women are always being told to do this and do this and this, guys are told to be this and this, but nobody's talking about it.
Yeah.
It's more talked about how women are, you
upset
need to
about
be women, yeah, right? Guys are just like, they're doing us that shit, but we're not gonna say anything. We're just gonna hold it because at the end of the day, it also falls on the wraps of be a man and shut up. You know what I mean?
Especially with happy
like,
wife, happy life.
right?
Let's talk about how happy wife, happy life is toxic.
Let's talk about.
Let me get my points in, guys. Let me get my points in. Second point. Point number 2 is that you touched on something about guys look for perfection and women are the ones that are settling, especially the ones for Black women settling for Black guys. Yeah. That one.
Who are choosing to date? Who are choosing to
choosing, yeah.
Black
that
men
one hits home. That one hits home because it's the wider community that's putting that on us, especially in this time where everybody feels like they need to be fighting for Black people. So in these types of things where women are kind of settling for the subpar Black man, it's because they're afraid of being judged by the community. You know how Black men go with white women and they like don't give a shit and they can handle it. It's because they can handle the swords on their back. People are telling them shit, right? But Black women going with an out of the race, we are fighting to stay for this Black man because we know some other races are doing better for us, and we know that our soulmate might be somebody that is out of our race. However, we still just want to fight that fight, and that's just the same ingrained thing for us, where we just feel like, you know what, this is what is supposed to make me happy, instead of gravitating to what is making you happy. Do you get what I'm saying?
Well, I want Black babies. Okay, so if we're gonna be honest,
me too, but babe, it's hard.
I want Black babies, and I really feel so. At current right now, I am in a relationship who I do not believe that I'm settling. But we right now, today. I'm 3 years in. Maybe in 3 more years, I might feel like I'm settling.
Girl, it ain't popular, but congratulations.
Today, though, I'm like, because we're very communicative. you know, and
Right.
I really
Right.
appreciate that. That really makes a difference. We were also friends before. I prefer to be
I
your
love
friend
that. I love that one.
because then you can't really lie to me because it's like, bro, you was my friend. Like, what's up? We just
What are we
friends
doing?
that met
Right.
and live together now, and
Right.
now might want to get married. But you're still my friend at the core of everything. You're still my friend, right?
Yeah.
So I don't believe that I'm settling right now. I do think though that I don't even think a lot of women think that they're settling. I think that because self-reflection is such a hard thing to do. It is really hard to look in the mirror and say to yourself, like, yo, I might have been wrong all my life thinking that I wasn't shit. And because I had this dialogue with myself, I went and projected it onto whatever I had going on, right? And because we're not in a world where there's like a small community and it's just like culty. People act as if you're culty to be spiritual. You know, they act as if you're culty to want to look into yourself and just check on something and see, like, maybe my battery is my heart valve, you know, is not working at full extent because I'm blocking some chakras around here, and I can't even express what I need to express in the full extent of it because I never even checked into what it is that I'm even feeling. Because it's really too hard, and in the society that we live in, that's not what we do. We're all on social media.
Yeah, it's too seen. It's too
and
seen.
then there's a bunch of fake spiritualists who then you don't even know. They don't even get me started on this.
Let's talk about the spiritualists that are scamming people and the audience that they have. That it really saddens me because they're not following their own intuition to seek the answers for themselves, or they know the answer for themselves, but they're waiting for someone else to confirm it so they don't have to listen to it.
So then that leads you down a whole nother rabbit hole. And then you become resistant. You really do become resistant in knowing your full self because it's not easy to know your full self. There are people who make it seem as if, you know, learning yourself is like really rainbows and unicorns and stuff.
Really
and it sounds good.
It is so ghetto.
It is so ghetto, and it hurts your feelings so much. I just had a whole crying fit this weekend, like, and I really realized some stuff about me. But bruh, oh my God.
I was taking a shower. When I took a shower earlier, I gotta tell y'all this off camera, but I really realized some shit. And like I've been having thoughts like I just need to, like, I feel like I just need to break this glass ceiling. Like I feel like, you know, I've been doing the work, but I feel like there's just something else. There's something else. Fucking something else came in the shower, bitch. I said, like, you know when you forget what you're looking for, you just stand frozen at the cabinet. I was staring at myself like like frozen, like, bitch.
Oh my gosh.
How long have you been doing this?
Like, but that's good though. That's good. Yeah. You have to tell yourself that's good. You have to tell yourself when you get these answers that that's good. That's a start. You know?
Because a lot of people can't even, it's such a blessing. It is such a blessing to even have the space and ability to be able to look into yourself. Because a lot of people are just surviving, and when you are in a state of survival, it is really, I'm speaking for me, right? Yeah, I didn't have time when I was trying to figure out where I was going to lay my head at, what kind of job I was going to have, and how I was going to eat tonight. So I did not really have time to be like, you know what,
are you
out here being a bitch
no
reason?
You don't feel okay, but we got to get it done.
Yeah. I was not like, girl, you having anxiety attacks every day. You really need to fix this. No. I was like, you got to get this together and figure out what you're doing.
Get it together. You got to get to work.
And that's another thing. Yeah. Who's going to pay for these bills? Who's going to, you know, put food on it? Like, you have so
because you find yourself broken for a couple days. You're going to have to break yourself to like remake yourself. And I didn't start breaking myself until I was in a place where I felt like if I broke myself, I would still have a place to live, food to eat. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I could break myself without consequences.
Yeah. And that's why we need our men, though. Because they're supposed to give us that space. We don't feel like we're secure. Like, we don't feel like we are allowed to do that. And we should also have it with our sisterhood for sure. Like friends or people that can support us and give us this space to, feel the things that we're going through and understand that, like this is to start. This is great that you're realizing these things about yourself. We don't have that community,
And
right?
I think that's valid, but I think sometimes at some
say
point
what you want to say.
at some point your breaking point will say, fuck it, I need to make this space for myself.
I think a lot of people need to actually, I don't believe that you should be dating if you have not made the space for yourself. That is something that I've actually been coming up to more, the conclusion more recently, having friends, who are dating and are going through a series of things that have nothing to do with dating, but just have everything to do with themselves. And then they're in these dating markets, and it's like, but you don't really even belong there. So what I was really saying is that a lot of people are like saying they want committed relationships, they want these things, right? But a lot of people can't even be alone with themselves. They can't. And like, I know a lot of people who are, like, they just keep moving around. Like, you never necessarily find them alone. Like they're at their apartment, they're at your apartment, they're at this bar, they just have to be surrounded by people, and their own company is bothersome.
But is that bad though? Because I feel like that's just a personality thing.
Yes,
I do believe it's bad.
I feel like it is. Yes, I feel
it's cool to be an extrovert. It's cool to need to be around people and to be able to express yourself that way. But everybody should be able to sit in their own just stuff real fast. You should be able to do that and be content or find contentment or you know what I mean, or be able to work to that.
I agree.
You should definitely. How can you even think about bringing something to a table when the shit that you bring into this table is like raggedy?
I feel like when you are always looking to stabilize yourself or find happiness or shift your mood or all these things, what is your homeostasis without anyone around? If you do not know what that is, that's a problem. If you are always around people for whatever they bring you, whether that is an escape, whether that is, oh, they're really funny, and when I'm by myself, I'm really sad. Because when you're by yourself, it's very confronting. When you're by yourself, you have no choice but to hear and listen to the thoughts that are coming up. You have no choice but to listen to how you speak to yourself. And a lot of
there's
people,
no other energy to leech off of.
It is really hard to sit with a lot of shit that people have experienced, and I get it. But you are accountable for how you show up. You are accountable and you are responsible for healing yourself and dealing with yourself before you go out in the world and you share that energy with anybody else. If you do not know what the fuck you are sharing when you are by yourself, to go out and share that is irresponsible.
You should be a whole person as yourself. Not I'm a whole person because I have this person in my life. You should be whole because you are whole because this. Because at the end of the day, you really do live and die by yourself. And while it's great to find you a partner, statistics say that a lot of people won't find their partner. You know what I mean? A lot of people won't find a partner and won't have that counterpart to bounce off of. And when you find yourself in situations where you literally cannot be by yourself and you have to be around people, then you have to consider that, are you stealing energy? You have to be considerate of why it is that you are around these people and what it is that's serving you here to constantly have to be around people. And 9 times out of 10, because it's not 100% right, but 9 times out of 10, it's because you need the energy that they are serving. I know that I'm a person who I can be really quiet, like in my home, it's like really quiet. I don't really play music and stuff. But when I get outside and I get around my friends, I'm like the party. And I can literally feel people around me stealing my energy. Because, and they're extroverts. They're more extroverted than I am. They're around more people than I am. They have more friends than I am. But they're around me because my energy is such a whatever it is here, and it's attracting them, and they want it now. And they can't really they can't really sit in their own energy because whatever they got going on in their life, whatever they had going on, whatever the past trauma was, whatever their mama, dada, whoever, I don't know, did to them, it makes it really hard to confront that stuff a lot of times.
And there is a different level of confidence, of self-assuredness that you exude when you can sit with yourself, when you are comfortable with yourself, when you are sure of yourself, when you are, and this doesn't mean that you have to like everything about yourself. When you know what your bullshit is, and you like, yeah, that's mine, and I'm gonna stick beside her. You know what I'm saying?
I like that word.
There's a different level of confidence that you exude just by being able to claim and own your shit.
Mm-hmm.
And so when people see that, of course it's attractive. It's like, oh,
yeah,
I'm not used to seeing that.
You can definitely be an extroverted person. You can definitely, I know that, especially during this time, right, of the pandemic and everything that's been going on, I see that, I see more often now that there are a lot of people who are not okay with the work at home situations and kind of the isolation that's occurring, you know what I mean? So I get it. I completely get, because I've been great. I'm going to be honest. I love it. I love not having to be in people's faces. That's a me thing, though. I have friends who really struggled, and it was like really a mental health thing. And it wasn't even like they were being dramatic, or it was really messing with them to have to consistently be in the home. I also know that a few of them who were having the difficulties of doing that could not be alone with themselves. Not all of them, but a few of them were having that issue because being alone gave them no distraction from whatever it is that goes on in their mind, and they just had to face it. And we live in a world where you don't have to face your demons.
And that's just like how being in the panoramic has also made us not have a choice but to be confronted with everything that us as Black people are always seeing and always experiencing. Yes, if you choose, but if you choose,
it kind of still forces.
I say if you choose, but if you look at your social media, if you look at all of these things that's in front of you, and we have been confronted with it in a different way because we are more isolated now. And so I think that's like the same thing. People not being able to sit with themselves. Like
if I have to keep it a book, people like typically see me as probably an extrovert and stuff because I know how to be with people, right? But do I prefer it to my own company? Hell to the fucking no. I am my best self. I love when I'm by myself. Like I enjoy my time. I feel like I don't owe anybody anything. Like
when
I am
people
just
hear
there.
me describe that to them, so many people be like, but when I say that, like even in like people be like, oh, why are you single? I love it here.
That's what I was about to say. When people saying what
I love being accountable for myself. I love checking in with myself. I love it is great here. And I feel like people, and obviously it has not always this be confronting shit. This be confronting shit. Like it be confronting shit. But I'd rather confront myself than to be in a relationship where one, I am unstable because I do not know myself. Or two, I'm in a relationship with just for the sake of being in a relationship. I think a relationship is a very intentional decision for me to be in a relationship. And so if that is not my intention for whatever reason right now, being by myself, oh, that's luxury. That's quality shit.
Yeah. And
even
I think that's
in a relationship, I find alone time. Like it's not even to be like, just because.
But that's valid.
In a relationship.
When I call her often, I be like, "You by yourself?" She be like, "Yeah."
I be walking around my house, playing my little music, really woosahing myself.
When you're dating, like if people that are on dating sites and stuff like that, there's a question I think I came across once where they basically ask, what is the benefit of being single? Yeah. And for men, what they obviously like gravitate to and makes complete sense is that they save so much more money when they're single. But for women, the gem that we look past all the time is that we get the time to learn and love ourselves. And I think that's a lot of that is not taught for women. And it's like not something that is normalized because we're always taught to be with somebody. Like, why are you by yourself? Like, why are you not doing this with
Our
somebody? Why
value
you
is
yeah.
the man.
Like, why are we not valuing us just being by ourselves and enjoying our company? Like, that is something that is not normalized. And that's why women that are single feel like something is wrong with them because it's not normalized to enjoy yourself.
I think that even in, because it's so wild, people just don't be wanting to sit with themselves.
Yeah.
Like, it's really, because I'm in a relationship.
I'm
Oh my God.
It's wonderful.
Guys, I'm gonna tell him give me 5 minutes, honestly. Okay.
Do your thing.
Yeah.
It's
I hope
her.
he's not
I know
dying.
she's trying to fast type.
Okay, yeah.
Fast type too. You start fucking up.
So it's
That part.
it's really the pressures. I think because, like, okay, so I'm in a relationship. I've been in this relationship for 3 years, right? And I'm around single friends, right? Most of my friends are single. Yep. Most of my friends are single. I have to, run it through my brain. And they asked me, because I've now been in my relationship for 3 years and I hit 30. The pressure is, why aren't you married? Why aren't you having a baby? Why aren't you guys doing this? Like, why aren't you? And it'd be like, oh my God. I really be feeling like, oh my,
like they
y'all,
bring it upon you, right? Women like to do that.
Your shit on my shoulders, bro.
Projection, yeah.
And I am literally over here, which then makes me question myself because then I'm like,
should I be married?
Am I not? And then people will tell me, you're only married because you don't want to be married. I'll be like, because I'm marrying myself? Like, explain to me how this person who I'm with does not have the option here, and how the means to an end, and I hear this a lot. I want to say that I hear this a lot from women, how essentially I should have manipulation tactics, because that's what it sounds like to me. The things that they tell me to do and the little, that's all
just to get the person to marry you.
To get this person to marry me.
Just to realize.
So we question the divorce rate,
which is high as hell. It's higher than the freaking people getting married rate. And why would I want to lie to get into a lifelong situation?
People want the marriage, but don't want the responsibility that comes with the marriage. Just like people want children, but do not want the responsibility of raising children for the rest of their lives.
You know what, too? A lot of people don't ask themselves why. Why do I want a relationship?
Why do you want this marriage?
What is it adding? Like, what is it adding to my life?
A lot of people want kids. I saw this meme. It was so messed up. I felt so bad for all these children that were born into it. But it was like, women need to stop having sons. And I took it as a more general thing, right? But the meme said women need to stop having sons and thinking they're gonna love them like their man should love them. And I was like, ooh, because that's your son.
It's weird.
They're not supposed, and granted, you would want your children to love you, right? Right. Okay. Not to say your kids are not supposed to love you, blah blah blah.
But there's some weird shit going on.
They're not here to what is that, placate you and to be your lover. That's not what they're here for. Their purpose in this world was not to just infinitely love their mama above themselves. You cannot put that type of that. Also, that's a burden. That's a heavy ass burden to carry when I'm trying to now grow into myself and live my own authentic life. And here you are as my parent, taking all the years of your burden and your trauma and your shit and just entwining it into my energy and who I am and what I could become. You didn't have for me to love you like a stalker, did you?
And to keep it a being, that is going to need to be a continued topic, because prior to the beginning of this podcast, there were two posts I was sharing with her from men, like 2 tweets from men that were, I saw crazy discussion. And then as she was talking, I just thought of this video that I saw this past week, of this little, I knew this man was little as soon as he started talking.
Oh, that one.
The 5'4"
podcast episode.
Energy, the 5'4" energy was telling, but I also know the woman who raised him. I could tell. And so that's
it'd be the Napoleon complex. A lot of men have the Napoleon complex. It's a real thing.
You have too many terms, Amy. Like, you be losing.
No, it's a real thing. That's not even a me thing.
Really?
That's a thing.
That's a real thing.
For little men that be trying to overcompensate.
Wow.
Maybe having that big testosterone.
They be trying to put big dick energy in there, but they got little packages. No, for real.
I didn't know this.
A me thing. It's a real thing. A lot of men have the Napoleon complex, and a lot of men with the Napoleon complex are narcissistic.
I'm Googling this shit right now.
Yes. That's a topic for another day, but yes, actually really look into it, because it's a real thing, and they be really out here projecting their whole insecure asses upon other people.
You know what?
That's all
when
it
you
is.
talk to your friend, I want y'all to talk about that. Let me know what comes out of that conversation.
Will do.
As always, I affirm that whoever is listening to this, if you've gotten anything from this pod episode, I affirm that you are finding some time to better get to know yourself.
Yeah.
Nurture that relationship with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I would say, like we always say, find one thing that you're grateful for this week. My grateful thing this week is, it's really my plants, y'all. I don't know if y'all see these babies back
No way,
here.
she built that up to bring it down. It's really my plants, y'all.
the way that they just, y'all, look at this. I did that.
You did that, though.
Don't knock it over now, baby.
You see me? But that's my grateful thing. What are you grateful for?
What am I grateful for? I'm grateful for the sunrise. Honestly, I am such a little things type of person. Like, the little things, when I have to sit down, it's like, damn, I'm experiencing this right now. This person can get this. Like I don't know. Maybe it's I have experienced too much death in my life.
Oh, that's so
but I appreciate the littlest things, because it just reminds me of how blessed I am. So that's what I'm grateful for.
I'm grateful. I'm grateful for this. I'm grateful for the ability to have a community that, regardless of the topic, we can converse in a healthy way, regardless if we agree or not. I'm really grateful for that. I'm grateful for you, Frankie, for taking the time to come and share space with us. Okay, you are always welcome here. Yeah. We didn't mention at the beginning of the pod, but holla at my girl Frankie at her
shameless plug.
Frankie's pod. Okay, if you. All the details will be
right there.
But go ahead and just plug it in. Go ahead and plug it in, Frankie.
Follow the Speak Love Podcast on Instagram. We on Facebook. We on LinkedIn. We on Twitter. We all about you, right? But we're most active on Instagram, though. I need to pick my shit up. We on Instagram. We're really on Instagram. We really be on Instagram, but all the other platforms. But at the end of the day, I really enjoyed this. I think these conversations are conversations that need to be had. People need to hear these things and have their own conversations. Like, I love that podcast inspires conversations with other people within your own community. Like, that's what I really appreciate about podcasts, and that's why I have my own. And yeah, just grateful for the space. Grateful to meet Esther and Amy all in one, girl.
Hey, what's up, girl?
Right?
Duality, okay?
Right? I'm grateful for it, and yeah, I really appreciate it. And have a blessed week, guys.
Right. As always, speak beautifully to yourself
and stay blessed. Peace.